Hello, world. This is Nick Jackson. And today we have my favorite pipe-sized podcaster. I mean, he's a little dude with a big.
I'm Ben Hartong, and thank you so much for that introduction. But yeah, so I'm an 8th grader at Nagel Middle School. I was lucky enough to hear Mr. Jackson speak to our school. And I have my own show. It's called Bend Your Ear with Ben Hartong. I'll actually be having him on as a guest here in the near future. But yeah, so I just do shows pretty similar to this one.
Well, let me ask you this question. Today we're talking about tolerance. Right now, there's all this COVID-19 stuff happening. How are you able to tolerate the times right now? Like, how is Ben acting?
You know, being able to tolerate the times right now, I just feel like you gotta have a positive attitude, because I feel like at the end of the day, you know, everything's gonna be okay. And even if things don't turn out your way, just think about the positive right now. Always focus on the positive thing, because right now the last thing we need is for us all to be negative and to tear each other down and to do all these things, you know, make ourselves feel worse. I just feel like you gotta be able to tolerate the times by having a positive attitude and kind of taking a deep breath, just knowing, hey, everything's gonna be okay.
Man, I love that. Everything. Now, I got a trick question coming up for you next, right? I just want you to know. Are you getting ready for Christmas? Like, what are your Christmas plans?
Okay, so it's funny you asked that. I'm actually Jewish. So this time of year, I'm actually preparing for Hanukkah, which is in 10 days, December 10th. And so I'm super excited for that. So yeah, it is kind of weird, like when it's Christmas time and, you know, everyone's, you know, celebrating Christmas, and you're just kind of that, you know, one guy that's like, hey, you know, sometimes it feels like, I know there are lots of other people out there that celebrate Hanukkah, but sometimes, you know, at my school, when it's, you know, primarily Christian and, you know, not a lot of people really take into consideration the Jewish faith at this time of year, it can be a little bit socially awkward at times. But I feel like you just got to, as we said, tolerance, you got to be able to tolerate it. You got to be able to understand. Not everybody's going to understand what you're doing right now. Not everybody's going to understand Hanukkah. Not everyone's going to understand the meaning. Not everyone's going to understand why you do it. It's just it's complex when you think about it, but it's just like, you know, you got to be able to tolerate, you know, other people's beliefs and what they do.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And that was a trick question. I knew you were of the Jewish faith before I asked that question. And it's so interesting to me because I really don't understand Hanukkah, right? So if you can explain, because I know there's people that are listening to this podcast that are going to be like, I don't know what Hanukkah is, and I don't even understand why you'd have to tolerate, because everybody celebrates Christmas in their mind. What is Hanukkah and why do you celebrate it?
Yeah, so Hanukkah is it's, you know, more or less of a holiday than it's really more of a celebration than a holiday in the Jewish faith. Now, I've heard a lot of people refer to Hanukkah as almost like the Jewish Christmas, and it's really not. Like it's really not. It doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, as weird as it might seem. You know, we're in the holiday spirit right now. We're in the holiday times, and so yes, it is one of the December holidays, but it really doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. So basically, what Hanukkah is, a bunch of years ago, we had, you know, our ancestors, they were fighting a war, a synagogue, our synagogue, which is almost like a church. It basically is a church, it's just a gathering place for people of the Jewish faith. And their temples or synagogue, it was burned down. And so they had this little droplet of oil to burn for light, as they were hoping to restore the synagogue. And it was only enough oil that should burn for one night, and it ended up burning for 8 nights.
Wow.
So that's why we end up celebrating Hanukkah for 8 nights. It's to kind of commemorate the oil lasting 8 nights. A good analogy we like to use is like, imagine if your phone battery was on 10% and it lasted for 8 days. That's almost what it's
Wow.
like. So that's why we celebrate Hanukkah. Yeah, and this time of year, it's just it ends up, it's actually on a different day each year because it follows a lunar calendar, so it doesn't always match up. But it typically falls in late November to early December, sometimes going through Christmas. So sometimes we've actually had Christmas on one of the nights of Hanukkah,
Wow.
which is pretty fun.
So I gotta ask this question. So to me, right? So Christmas is like December 25th or whatever, and I got the day off. I mean, I got the day off, and almost everybody I know has that day off. Now Hanukkah, December 10th. Now that's like a Wednesday, right? So are you gonna go to
Yeah.
school? Like, what do you take 10 days off of school? How does that work?
So yeah, so we do not take 10 days off of school for Hanukkah, as we really just celebrate Hanukkah
I was
during the
hoping you
nighttime.
did because I was gonna try to be Jewish then. You know what I'm saying? I can take the extra
Yeah.
days, you know?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be that. I will say that would be awesome if we did. But yeah, so no, unfortunately, I do not take days off of school because it really is a holiday that we just celebrate during the nighttime. You know, we light the menorah each night, and it's kind of just like a sacred ceremony that we don't necessarily have to do in the day. And it is weird, you know, like having a holiday on the same day you're going to school.
Right.
But and I will say this, like Hanukkah, it's weird, like around this time of year, especially because everyone's in the Christmas spirit, getting ready for Christmas. They don't usually put into consideration, Hanukkah. And really, it's not just about Hanukkah and the Jewish faith. It's about, just other holidays that people celebrate with other cultures that they don't always recognize. So it's certainly weird this time of year, but you also got to think, like, I'm Jewish year round.
Yeah.
So there are year round holidays.
Right.
There are year round holidays happen. It's not just Hanukkah that we celebrate. So like the high holidays, which I would even say are more important than Hanukkah. These are really the days we come together. I'm not going to go into a full description of the days, but we just kind of think about your sins. We have the Hebrew New Year on Rosh Hashanah, and I do take days off of school for that. So it's weird, like taking days off of school. People don't know why. You come back the next day, people are asking why weren't you at school, and you kind of have to explain to them, I was not at school because I was at a religious ceremony observing this holiday. And yeah, so I will say it's weird, but like just there are year round stuff that happen.
So I got to ask this question. This is my absolute last question. One, thank you so much for being on the show. We are so honored to have you. My last question is this. For everyone that's listening to this, everyone who's watching this show, everyone that just might be a little bit different than the normal, right? What does Ben Hartong have to say to them? Like, what would you say if you had 15 seconds to say one thing to a group of people that may feel different? They grew up in a different kind of household, or they celebrate different holidays than other people. They don't get their days off. What do you say to them?
First of all, choose kind, accept everyone, tolerate everyone, whether they're different, whether even when you don't agree with them. The second thing I'd say to anyone who's different, just keep being yourself. Don't let anyone tear you down just because they're different or the majority of the population is different. Keep being yourself. Even if you're in a group of people where everybody is one thing and then you're the other thing, keep being you, because that just shows how strong you are and how tolerant you are of others. And it can show people that they need to be tolerant of you, because that's really something that they have no control over. I have no control over what other people do. They have no control over what I do. So it's just a matter of being able to accept others for who they are, and that matter of self-acceptance, within yourself.
Ben, I mean, not only are you an awesome speaker, right? You're kind of a genius, bro. I just want you to know, like what you just said, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I get paid to talk. right? I got to tell you, that was absolutely beautiful. Do me a favor. I know I said I had one last question, but this is the big one. Tell everyone
All
where
right.
to find Ben. How do they get in touch with you?
Where to find me? Okay. So, I have a YouTube channel. It is called, well, actually, it's under the name Ben Hartong. So you just look up Ben Hartong on YouTube. You will find a show called Bend Your Ear with Ben Hartong. It is a show very similar to this one. I have Zoom calls, I have guests, and it's pretty fun for me to do. And I hope a lot of the viewers enjoy watching. I also have I have Instagram, Ben underscore Heart07. So you could find me on there as well. And then yeah, so follow my Instagram, look on my YouTube channel. That's where you can connect with me.
Definitely. I'm definitely, and I'm so excited to do your show next. World, I just want you to know I'm doing Ben's show sometime this week or next week. I'm rocking it out on Ben's show. This is Nick Jackson from Speak Love. Remember, it's never too late to be awesome today, and make sure you tolerate everyone. Ben, say goodbye to the crowd.
All right, bye everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Ben, thanks for being here. Peace.